Imagine finding out as an adult that the situation you grew up thinking was normal actually had a name, and that name was trafficking. That moment hits different because suddenly your whole story makes sense in a way it never did before. You might think there's no help for you because so much time has passed since you were a kid, but that is one of the biggest myths out there. Immigration law actually has special protections built specifically for people who are trafficked, even if you are now an adult looking back at your childhood. The main option you want to know about is called a T visa, which exists just for trafficking survivors. It does not matter if the trafficking happened 10 years ago or 20 years ago, because what matters is that it happened and you can show it. Here is where people get confused though, because they think they need a police report or some official trafficking certificate to qualify. You do not need law enforcement involvement at all, since an immigration lawyer can help you build your case using your own statement and supporting evidence instead. Think about it like building a puzzle where you are the main piece, and your lawyer helps you find the other pieces like school records, medical history, or even statements from people who knew you growing up. This is not about reliving trauma for fun, it is about creating a paper trail that proves what your gut already knows is true. A good immigration lawyer who specializes in trafficking cases will treat your childhood experience seriously instead of brushing it off because you are not a minor anymore. They understand that trafficking does not just disappear from your life once you turn 18, it follows you and shapes everything. Now let's talk money for a second, because this is where a lot of people get scared off before they even start. Many immigration lawyers who work on T visa cases offer free consultations, and there are also non-profit legal organizations that specifically help trafficking survivors at no cost. You might be picturing some dramatic court scene like a legal show on television, but most of this process actually happens through paperwork and interviews, not courtroom drama. It can still feel intense emotionally, but the actual mechanics are more office work than action movie. One thing that throws people off is the timeline, because T visa cases can take months or sometimes longer than a year to process. That waiting period is rough, but it does not mean nothing is happening, it just means the system moves slower than your patience would like. Here's a twist that surprises almost everyone. The T visa can also open a path to a green card down the line. So this is not just a temporary fix, it can actually become a long-term solution for building your life here legally. You should also know that your immigration status as a child, even if someone else controlled your documents or you had no documents at all, does not disqualify you now. Lawyers who specialize in this see that pattern constantly, since control over paperwork is literally one of the tools traffickers use. Let's bust another myth while we're here, because some people think admitting they were trafficked as a kid will somehow get them in trouble or deported faster. The opposite is true, since these protections exist specifically to keep survivors safe and give them a legal way to stay. Finding the right lawyer matters more than finding any lawyer, so look for someone with actual experience in trafficking and T visa cases specifically, not just general immigration work. Ask questions, trust your gut, and remember you are interviewing them just as much as they are evaluating your case. Healing and legal status are two different journeys that can happen at the same time, and you do not have to have everything figured out emotionally before you start the legal process. Taking that first step to talk to a lawyer is not about being ready, it is about being curious enough to find out what is possible. So if all of this got you thinking about your own situation or someone you know, you want to learn more about how this actually works? Check out our links in the description, because we break this stuff down so you can finally get some real answers.